So understand with regards to when you experience yourself in a manifested mind possession state, while or when facing particularly specifically a conflict situation, wherein while you're facing someone, no matter what the relationship, and as you're having your discussion and it's becoming a bit heated and manifesting into a conflict experience. Now, during and within that event, what you'll notice is, yet again, your reactions are coming up, your thoughts are particularly specifically directed to and towards the being with whom you are having this conflict manifesting within that moment. So, in some situations, your thoughts might become more prominent. In other situations, your reactions will become more prominent. And in other situations, your physical will start becoming more rigid, stiff, wherein you create then the perception, idea, or belief that you're standing, but actually you are holding yourself within and as a particular specific reaction to attempt or try to not to react. But in that attempting or trying not to react, you are reacting, and you'll notice your body actually becoming like the statue, and your breathing is actually very shallow. That is not standing, that is attempting or trying to hold your composure, which is just another form of suppression. What you'll see when you accept and allow yourself to hold yourself in such a state is that after the conflict point has happened, after the experience or event, your thoughts will start running towards the being, wherein what you were actually experiencing subconsciously and unconsciously that you were suppressing in that moment will come out in your thoughts that you will then direct towards the being that you experience the conflict situation with. So these are the 3 points to have a look at when or while facing a conflict situation. You'll have different forms of reaction. Your physical reaction, where you try and hold your composure. Your thought reaction, where your thoughts will start being directed towards the being. Or your emotional feeling reaction, where your energies will start coming up. You'll have either one individually. You can have all 3 at the same time, or the 3 of them mixed or intertwined. But those are the 3 most prominent reactions that you can have a look out for. So while you're experiencing any of those 3 reactions, understand that you cannot trust anything that you are seeing in that moment in relation to another being. Most of the time, what will happen, especially with regards to your thoughts, is it'll go to blame. Projected blame, where you are in that moment utilizing projection to hide your self-responsibility in your reaction participation in that moment in relation to the situation or the point and or the being. So whenever in that moment thoughts come up towards the being, know and understand that you are, if you have a look at your experience, self-honesty in relation to your reaction in physical, energy and mind, that any and all thoughts projected towards another being is actually a reflection of yourself. So you cannot trust any ideas, perceptions, images or pictures that come up in your mind in relation to the other being. Like, for example, thoughts coming up like, oh, he or she is doing this or that, and this is why we're now in this situation, and he or she is possessed, and it's their fault that or they're the cause of us being in this situation. And or thoughts like, why can't they see what they're doing? And your thoughts will be projected towards the other being, when in fact, if you self-honestly stop and have a look at yourself in that moment, you're the one that is equally in reaction in that moment, either and or physically, mentally and energetically. So be careful of the point of trying or attempting to hide in blame. That is another deceptive method of the mind consciousness system as a protective defense mode for and of ego and self-interest. It's a more subtle way or method of fighting and defending a particular specific point or position or stance within and as your mind consciousness system in relation to your ego, wherein your thoughts will go to blame and projection as it being the other being's fault, as they being the source or cause, and everything is on them, but in fact you're not considering yourself equally as participant within the situation, because it takes two to tango. So this practical support and assistance for when you're in a conflict situation and your thoughts start going towards the other being as it being the other being's fault, there being the point of possession. Always make sure that you check self first, because your thoughts will predominantly within that moment, while you're also in reaction, reveal who you are accepting and allowing yourself to be in that moment. So again, basically what that would indicate is that you've already accepted and allowed yourself to go too far within a mind possession point. You're allowing yourself to listen to your thoughts and reactions and not being self-honest and taking self-responsibility for your equal participation in that conflict situation or moment. So when you find that your thoughts are again going to blame, know that it's a flag point for, I'm trying to hide myself, my self-responsibility, my self-honesty behind blame. I stop, I breathe through that moment. You make sure that you are stable, that you're not accepting and allowing yourself to react. And guys, the most effective support is to always discuss something openly and equally. Exactly like I'm having a conversation here with you. It's simply discussing the point. And when the reactions start coming up, to breathe through the reactions. Acquire that self-discipline to not accept and allow yourself to speak within reaction. It'll take time, it'll take practice, because you've got to relearn how to live for you in self-awareness and self-honesty, and not through predetermined automatic reactions. Remember, it's not about trying to get your way. We're here to learn, see what it is that you can learn about a point or about an experience that opened up in a moment. Have both parties equally participate, like put the point in front of you and say, okay, this is what I experience about this point, and then have the other person say, this is what I see about this point, and then see if either of you had past experiences in relation to the point. You know, don't make it personal, meaning like defining yourself according to the point that opened up. More discuss it in relation to the point opening up in itself. Doesn't matter in who it opened up. And then you say, for example, I noticed that you immediately rolled your eyes and did a big sign, like lifted up your hands. Did you notice that? And you say, you know what, I've seen myself do that as well. And I haven't yet looked at it quite specifically. Would you like to let us have a look at it? What is that energy? What is the consequences if we accept and allow ourselves to go into it? If we, this is how I experience that moment. This is the thoughts that come up. You know, you guys can actually have fun in investigating how it is that we've constructed ourselves as programs, as designs that is just like functioning automatically. Use these opportunities to get these automation, pre-programmed mind consciousness system crap out of us, so that we can enjoy each other, you know, and start living. Not try and always look for faults or problems or blame, but to rather re-look at how we live and how we interact from a point of how we can learn, not from a point of fighting. So let us take a more prominent example with regards to fear of others, as in the domain or room of our friends, our more closer relationships. Now, what happens in terms of the structural mind physical design of pleasing others due to a fear others, and in the context of especially what they think of us, wherein we will then deliberately uphold and maintain a particular specific persona to, in an attempt, subdue that fear of others, in making sure that others approve of oneself, or where one then create the idea, perception, or belief that whatever it is that you're doing in relation to pleasing them, that they then approve of you, and then you make your own fear feel better, so to speak. So what will happen basically within accepting and allowing self to deliberately change self for others is that, firstly, to uphold a persona within and as the mind consciousness system, a persona which infiltrates and permeates your total human physical body, because it has to encompass how it is you use your eyes, your mouth, your face, your voice. Then it has to categorize and organize information in particular specific sections in your mind consciousness system, so that you make sure that you always, for example, speak about particular specific topics, and that you speak in a certain way about those topics. Then it has to insert and format certain specific experiences toward those topics that you have to discuss or be interested in or like or have a certain specific opinion about. Then it has to analyze and design or program your particular specific behavior, like your movements, how you sit, how you eat, how you dress. Then your approval and disapproval in relation to what you wear. I mean, it is an extensive design. It infiltrates and permeates your whole physical in voice, behavior, mannerism, and then also in the context of your expression, your experiences, and your reactions. It's literally a whole suit that you become, that you've got to maintain and uphold in relation to your relationship with your friends. And then accordingly, just in the point of having to maintain and uphold this, the energetic physical consequences of maintaining and upholding such a persona, because of the severity and extremity of its infiltration, permeation, and infusion in the human physical body, it actually affects the tissue of the physical, because of the extent of the energy that's involved in maintaining and upholding such a persona. The physical body's tissue actually starts stretching because of the amount of stress or strain that's placed within it. It is minute amounts that happens in relation to the stretching as you maintain and uphold this persona for and during the time being of your participation with your friends, wherein most of who and how you are, you've created, designed, and programmed to fit in or mingle or intertwine yourself within and as the relationships that you formed. And so through time, every time you become this persona, and you've got to maintain and uphold it, meaning where you realize your thoughts are very much towards making sure that you are approvable as your self-image reflection that you get as your feedback from your friends, and make sure that you are in place. And so as you participate in this extensive amount of energy manifestation in the physical tissue actually starts getting affected and starts stretching. And through time, if you have a look at older people, in relation to their physical tissue composition, in relation to where the skin actually starts sagging, and this is both males and females, that sagginess that manifests is due to the consequential factor of the stretching of the physical tissue, due to the upholdment and maintainment of personas in various grouping contexts of people and environments throughout their lives. It manifested in time and over time. So every time you become that persona or a persona in context to people and the environment where you deliberately maintain a particular specific self, that is the physical manifest consequence that manifests inside you. And so you literally kill yourself, meaning in terms of aging, it's how we've been creating and manifesting our own death within and as the human physical body through the mind consciousness system. Because within that becoming and maintaining and upholding of that total persona which infiltrate and permeate your total human physical body, that total entity manifestation feed off of the physical to be able to hold itself as a consciousness point for you. Because remember, in terms of the mind consciousness system, it's the being manifested in the mind consciousness system, the mind consciousness system in the physical, where the mind consciousness system utilizes the physical resources as well to root itself within the physical, and then utilize the natural resources of the physical to continue its existence as the human being, then validate the mind consciousness system existence and the killing of the physical through participating in the mind consciousness system in the first place. And thus, the extent, as I've just described, of a persona of the mind consciousness system and the existence thereof in the physical, and the extent of the resources it literally suck and seep out of all aspects of the total physical, you literally kill yourself for others. As the physical natural resources start diminishing, or it's more not diminishing in terms of becoming non-existent, diminishing in the sense of diminishing the physical, where the mind consciousness system completely take over the human physical body. That's in essence what happens in old age, where skin starts to sag, because the physical consequences of that system were so severe in relation to the tissue damage that even the physical resources it can obtain is no more obtainable, because it's like the mind consciousness system just completely took over to such an extent where it starts feeding on itself. And when the mind consciousness system starts feeding on itself, that's where everything starts dysfunctioning and running out of energy, and the whole physical in essence then become the real nature of the being and the mind. And this then what you see in old age, you see what you've really been. You see the true nature of human beings, what they are in fact. And it's scary. So, with regards to fearing others, in the context of image, in the context of trying to uphold or maintain a persona, stop. Consider the physical consequences that's involved, and just consider also the point with regards to realizing that you're killing yourself it's like dying for a purpose that you think is worth it, meaning you're dying for what? For actually, in essence, if you get to the core of it, you're killing yourself over one fear of what others think of you. But if you look at your own mind in relation to what is happening and the nature of your own thoughts and your own preoccupations, you realize that you don't even care about anything or anyone, really care about anything or anyone in your world. Really, in fact, care to the point where you will stand with someone eternally, no matter what. And why care about others if you know that you don't even care about anything or anyone in your world? Suffice to say that that is the same for everyone else in this world, this existence. And I mean, if you don't even know what it means to really care about yourself, to be able to live with yourself eternally, what it means to really care about yourself within the context of everything and everyone equal in one, what it means to actually be equal in one, to care for each and every single part of yourself in equality in one, is that you'd stand by and assist and support and push and not stop no matter what until each and every single part of you is really equal in one, really knows and experiences what it means to live. So even the point of care in itself is not even defined, really. So therefore, stop accepting and allowing yourself to listen to the mind. Stop trying to please your own fears. And start caring about yourself. Start learning what it means to care about yourself. Make your life worth it. Make yourself worth it. Make who you are and what you live worth it. Make your participation in reality worthwhile, where it stands eternally. And stop trying to kill yourself over things that do not last, that won't be there with you in the moment of death, that's not here with you when you close your eyes and go to sleep. You're always with yourself. That's what's got to matter, who you are with yourself. So we suggest that we all learn to care about ourselves, to make ourselves worthwhile, to live in dignity and self-respect and respect of everything and all within equality and oneness, wherein we learn what it really means to care, what caring really means within the context of equality and oneness. So start caring about yourself, start assisting and supporting yourself in terms of what it means to really live. And let us change the world through changing ourselves. Thank you.